Hello there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics about spirituality, dream interpretation from time to time, depending on how often I will or whether I will ever read any Quora questions and answer them at all, since I haven't been doing this for a long time. But usually my videos are about spirituality, game analysis, and game interpretations, also a bit about introspection, well, a lot about introspection, and the way I will portray such ideas in my own games. Okay, I have two video game projects that I'm working on, and I present from time to time some progress that I have. Okay, but this video is another one of a series that I decided to call the Wisdom Shorts. Okay, and this one is on the topic that ignorance is bliss. Okay, now society teaches people that ignorance is bliss. Okay, because basically it is a sort of bliss, but the question is a question that no one seems to be asking themselves is, whose bliss is that? Okay, whose bliss is ignorance? Okay, because it's definitely not the ignorant people's bliss. Okay, because to be blissful is the complete opposite of ignorance. Why? Because ignorance means being fully unconscious. You don't want to accept any responsibility, and you're running away from anything and everything. When you are blissful, okay, you are happy, okay, with literally everything that is, irrespective of how it is, okay, and that can only be done fully consciously. Now, what I speak, okay, what a quote of mine would say, because I've got a lot of such quotes, but what a quote of mine would say and present things like is ignorance is the birth mother of all evils, okay, because all evils are done because of ignorance, okay. Why? Because, basically, ignorance is nothing else than a birth mother of evils. How? Well, ignorance means that you simply don't want to take any responsibility in life. You're running away from everything, and this will usually give a lot of will give a lot of reasons to people to have expectations of others. If people don't take responsibilities, they will have expectations of others to do that for them. And that's how you have narcissistic people, and that's how you have bosses. Okay, because that's their purpose. They won't do shit so that other people are forced into doing that. So basically, when you're not assuming responsibility for something, you're basically forcing the others to do it, okay, be it aggressively or passively, and usually people do this passively, okay, by asserting their so-called status, okay. Now, ignorance in the end is basically no excuse, because ignorance means just being stupid, okay, because you will never see a wise ignorant, okay. The difference in between a wise person and an ignorant is that the wise person accepts things the way they are but doesn't give them any meaning, okay, because meaning is the foundation of literally everything. Why I'm saying this? Well, very simple. When you give meaning to something, you're creating a parallel reality for yourself, because when you call a tree, okay, you're perceiving it only as an object with a few properties, okay, just like in programming. You're seeing it as something that has a certain shape, must have that shape, okay, but you're becoming ignorant of the life within that tree, okay. You know that it has certain color of leaves, okay. It'll have a certain height, a certain, other set of properties, but you're becoming therefore ignorant to the life within that tree, okay, because that tree is fully alive and it's living its life. And through ignorance, people are creating all sorts of beliefs, and also the idea of separation also stems from ignorance, because when people don't meet other people who accept, okay, who accept, not take into account their beliefs, okay, because ignorant people will always say that their ideas are the best, okay. That's how things break up, and that is why so many people don't have happy marriages, for example. And that's how languages and countries and tribes were created, because each tribe ended up believing in their own things, and whoever did not were simply expelled and most likely ended up creating their own tribes, okay, or perishing in a way. How do you know people are also ignorant? Well, when they expect others, okay, to do things for them. For example, religion, okay? And now we have the flow of distraction, or what I call the law of distraction, which seems to be the new religion, okay? In the older times, when people's awareness was very simple, okay, uh, people were taught that do everything like this and God will ensure your happiness, okay? And imagine people, okay? People have been so ignorant that they would simply do nothing, embracing poverty willingly so that they would live that so-called life, eternal life of pleasure, okay, and abundance, because that's how the churches have been raising money, okay, by taxing people and teaching them that it is good to not have money. But what were they doing? Well, they were lavishly living and they were having, all the money in the world. So playing, this is nothing else than preying on other people's naivety and other people's foolishness in a way, because people have started embracing ignorance, and they felt that it actually gives a sort of comfort, because when you don't feel the challenges of taking responsibility, that's when you end up believing that life is basically very beautiful and life is very simple. That is why it is called a kind of bliss, but you'll never see a blissful ignorant, okay? Because to be blissful means to be fully oblivious, okay? To be actually fully knowledgeable of things and perceive them in such a vibrant way that nothing else needs meaning anymore, okay? It's Bliss is something far beyond the mind, okay? But only the mind can be ignorant, okay? Because the body itself cannot be ignorant, for example. If the body would be ignorant, then you would be dead long since, okay? Everything in this life works because it simply does something, okay? Animals and everything in this world works at a subconscious level, because that's how consciousness creates things, okay? It creates things at a subconscious, or better said, unconscious level, because there is no subjectivity in that creation. Everything follows certain patterns and certain events, okay, that chain one another, and there is no subjectivity in creation. Okay, subjectivity only comes through consciousness, through awareness, which humans on this planet are the only beings that can experience that. That is why it is also said that if you want to experience life, you have to experience it numerous times as animals, and then you will start experiencing life as a human, because the potential that a human body has is limitless, okay, compared to other animals. Each and every animal has their own lessons to teach if you experience life through their own bodies. They give perceptions through different things. Okay, like snakes can perceive earthquakes so many even days before they would happen. Okay, and well, cats can perceive different other things, dogs again different other things, but humans have the potential to experience things beyond the idea of unconsciousness. That is the superpower of humanity, and the reason why so many people consider that their lives suck. But their life doesn't suck, they themselves suck, because they have been doing the same thing that people around them have unsuccessfully been pursuing, and well, the only thing they succeed in usually is becoming a ruin. So if you're following other ruins, okay, and you're believing that those are your models in life, why do you suffer? Because your life again is a ruin, okay? And well, belief is nothing else than accepting something without a necessity for proof. So you don't have any proof that, the success tips that your parents and school are giving you will actually make you more successful and better in life. You don't need any proof for that. Okay, so basically you're ignorant because you're not seeking anything, you're not doing any research, you're just allowing yourself to be molded into what other people want, okay, from you and expect from you. This is called finessing, okay, and finessing means to adapt others, okay, to suit your own needs, okay, or others' needs, okay, to adapt. And society is doing this, okay, they are adapting people to its own needs there, because society is a plural. They are doing their own things, and they require people to be complacent to their own things. Okay, they want a world without touch, they want a world without anything, because that's what theoretically school is breeding. Okay, and now they want to make not only online schools, they want to have, so-called interactive schools, but you will be interacting with no one. Oh, you will only be interacting with machines. Basically, we're all cyborgs already, just like Elon Musk said. We're already cyborgs. Well, many of the people, because they are living their life like machines, okay, and worse than that, they are living their life in communion with machines, like their mobile phones and computers, to which they are fully addicted. So the point about ignorance is that nope, ignorance is not and will never be blissful. Okay, and ignorance is dangerous because ignorance and the mind go so well together. The mind is an engine of creation and only creates based on what it has been given. So many people feed the mind with the fact that they suck, and intellect will work based on the principle of supporting everything that you believe in. So what you believe in eventually can end up even greater than creation. Why do you think there are so many people who, claim titles? Okay, I am the king of this world. So many people say something hideous like, I'm on top of the world, right? They are basically saying that they are better than literally everyone else. And worse than that, they're ignorant enough to not know what words actually mean, because English is a very occult language. It has so many ways that is ruling over you unconsciously, because you don't know the power that the words actually have. Why do you think that leaders won wars based on not only training their fellow warriors, but especially on very powerful speeches? Okay, why do you think so many events are usually opened and or closed with powerful speeches? Okay, because well, everything is words. Okay, everything is a vibration. Words have a vibration, but if people are ignorant, they don't hear anything. Okay, they only accept what they want because, well, that's what makes them comfortable. And, well, comfort is something that breeds ignorance. Okay, and is also a result of ignorance because it's a repetitive cycle. Ignorance creates a sort of comfort, and, well, unfortunately, that comfort is not allowed in a way because, well, life won't allow it. The purpose of life is to challenge you, and you have to reply to those challenges consciously. If you reply to those challenges unconsciously, well, it means you're doing the easy thing in life, mainly getting distracted. And distractions are unfortunately the only commodities, okay, the only luxuries that poor people and, well, unfortunate people allow themselves to have in their own lives. How they allow this? Well, it's very simple. They allow that through their own actions. They choose, okay, to be ignorant, because ignorance is a choice, okay? Ignorance is not an excuse, ignorance is a choice, okay? So the problem with ignorance is that it is the birth mother of all evils, because everything stems from it, okay? All these ideas of countries, nationalities, nationalities and these have been created as a result of this sense of separation, because ignorance also causes separation. Okay, it is an illusion in your mind, because if people don't listen to your ideas, because ignorant people will only believe in several things, usually one or two things, but let's say several, and they will fanatically fight for those and instantly ditch anyone who doesn't believe in those. That's how a lot of people work, and when they ditch those people, they will ditch them even violently through, severely and verbally trashing them down, okay, calling them names and the such, and enjoying the suffering that those people will go through, okay, because that's basically what ignorance is. Ignorance is suffering, but it's worse than suffering because you are not aware of that suffering. You are not fully aware of the pains of ignorance, okay? You are aware to a certain extent, and that's why you are embracing ignorance even more. You are fighting to preserve it, you are fighting to keep it even more upon yourself, right? So that is a problem, because ignorance also become, very repulsive of people who don't think like them, and they will always seek to surround themselves with even more ignorant people who will easily accept to be molded in literally anything. Okay, so ignorance is basically slavery. Okay, because, well, only ignorant people believe that they are free nowadays because, well, as Orwell said in his novel 1984, freedom is slavery. How? Because when you believe you are free, basically then it's when you are the greater slave. Why? Because society teaches you that the more carnal things you have, the more physical things you have, the more material you have, the freer you are, because the more material you have, the more free you are from problems. But the problem is, the more things you have, you're basically a slave because you're now bound to use those things, right? We all buy all sorts of stuff that we don't need, and we are kind of guilty of keeping it around even if we don't use it. So basically, we are a slave of either having to use those to justify our purchases, or to simply keep them around as, I don't know, some sort of, well, I'm happy at least I bought it, okay? So this is a problem with ignorance, okay? Ignorance will never ever be blissful, okay? Because they were meant to be complete opposites, okay? You will never see ignorant animals, okay? They may be ignorant of you because they don't need you in their life, because they know what to do with their lives. Humans, unfortunately, don't know what to do with their lives, and that's why they ask all sorts of things, and their minds will always wander, okay? Like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, you know, and why am I living? You know, all these questions. What is life? Why am I living? All these questions come from ignorance. Okay, because people are not experiencing life at a level that will allow them to bypass such questions. Okay, because if people keep putting so much meaning on literally everything, that is also another aspect of ignorance. Because when you put meaning on something, that's your that's your takeover. Okay, that's your take on reality. Okay, that is why so many people believe in the illusion that what you focus on expands. No, it does not expand, and what you focus on expands only your perception of that, therefore only your meaning that you give to certain things. Imagine things when people say something bad about you, okay, you focus on that and it grows only because you're thinking about that more and more, so you're making it worse, okay, but it's worse only in your head, okay, it's an event in the past, and you're just fueling it even worse, okay, you're fueling it even more, and that's why it expands, okay, but only your perception over it expands, not the reality, okay. People will always say bad things, or in many cases when they are sad or angry, especially when angry, people will always say bad things, okay, or in most situations. So if you don't get over it, okay, you don't understand the fact that well, the point is, after something happens, you can choose to either become wiser or become hurt. Okay, that's the point, and that's how things are. And if you choose to become wiser, well, that's the greater choice, and it shows that you are conscious. If you choose to become hurt, well, then it goes to show that you embrace your ignorance. Okay, and well, that kind of is problematic because, well, when you embrace your ignorance, things kind of suck, okay, because you will suffer, not because someone would want it or the so-called God would want it, no, because that's how things are. If you're ignorant, you will suffer. Unfortunately, many people embrace that ignorance and therefore their suffering as their own normal, okay, as the only normal, and well, intellect will kick in and it will fanatically defend them, okay, from anyone who would want to pull them from their ignorance, okay. So the problem with ignorance is that, well, they're in most cases a lost cause. So, well, that's the case with a lot of narcissistic people especially, and in many cases sociopathic people as well, okay, because with psychopathy you're either born with that or, well, you're not. So that's the point. You don't become a psychopath over time. You're either born it or, well, you're not. And in that case, well, the point is you're simply not gonna be able to do anything because they are born so you can't change that, okay. But it doesn't mean that if you're an if you're a psychopath, you're necessarily a killer. But narcissists and sociopaths can easily become killers, okay, or torturers, let's call it, because not because in the sense that they are killing, physically, but emotionally, okay. They seek to dominate and torment others for their own pleasure. But well, not all sociopaths necessarily, okay, but ignorance is a flag of both of these and many other personality disorders, because it gives a certain sense of self, it promotes that, and it kind of makes people a lost cause to fight for, because that's how the intellect works. You believe in something, it will fanatically fight to preserve that, okay? It is a machine, an ancient construct within you that fanatically fights to support whatever you believe in. That's the problem, because ignorance becomes greater than even God itself, and well, creation, or whatever you want to call it. So when this happens, you have all these ignorant people believing and claiming that they believe in God, but they don't even believe in their own selves. If you don't take things from a personal and conscious viewpoint, well, you will never be blissful, okay? And ignorance will only be a pit of your own demise, okay? Well, basically ignorance is a graveyard in a way, because when you are ignorant, you're not taking responsibility, and you're allowing things to mold you, okay? You're allowing circumstances to guide your own life. And when you're doing that, you're basically dead, because, well, that's how the problem is. That's what the problem is, okay? When you are not taking responsibility and living unconsciously, you're basically dead, because you're not experiencing anything in life. So basically you're kind of a disaster, okay? So all this being said, hopefully this has been inspiring in a way, and well, eye-opening as usual. Feel free to like and subscribe. Feel free to share this with others in case you feel my answers might be better suited to help them. Just remember, ignorant people, you don't need to struggle too much to change them. You're not here to change people. You're here just to experience your own life. So stay awesome. You're loved and appreciated. Take care. Ferenc on board, signing out.